My name is Brett Van Paepegham. I'm with Idaho Firewise. Idaho Firewise is a non-for-profit organization that collaborates with federal, state, and local fire departments. I have an associate's degree in horticulture and a bachelor's of biology, emphasizing botany. And so I also manage a Firewise demonstration garden that's here in Boise out at the Idaho Botanical Gardens. And so I specialize more in the immediate area around the home. Carrie and Jared are talking a little bit more about further out on, public lands, but the best defense is what you can do on your own properties right adjacent to your home. And so it's that Firewise Landscaping that's just right around your home that I'll talk about. So what do you think about this? Does this look like Firewise Landscaping to you? What do you see there? Do you think it looks Firewise?
Not particularly.
Why?
It looks really dense.
Very dense. So that's a good point. That's one problem I see with this is the density. So for Firewise Landscaping, we want to kind of create spaces in between plants and not have a continuous bed of fuel. And so this is far too dense. Anything else about it besides density?
Well, a lot of evergreens that create a lot of dry needles.
Exactly. So it's really dense, and it's mostly evergreens, which evergreens or conifers are the most flammable fuel type. So this is not Firewise. It's pretty, but not Firewise. There is one plant in here that is a good one for Firewise. Everything else in there is highly flammable plant material. The one in front there is a yucca. So what we're wanting to do is create a defensible space. Actually, I've used the term survivable space here. I think better because defensible implies that fire personnel are going to be there to defend the home, and that may not necessarily be the case, especially for those that live like up far away from a fire station. So trying to create a survivable space without any help from the fire department. And we'll do this creating zones, zone concept of 1 being the closest to the home, and then 2 and 3 as we progress further away from the home. And we can do this with it being attractive. It doesn't have to just be concrete and gravel. It can be attractive. Here in this photo, we're drawing from a fair amount of natives. We do like to try to use natives as much as possible. However, not all natives are the best choice for flammability. Here we've got a relative to our state flower. That's a syringa, or a relative to it. And then these are pine leaf penstemons and a Rocky Mountain penstemons, which are both native and really nice. So I want to talk a little bit about Zone 1 includes the house itself and the building materials that you use for the home. So first and foremost, the roof and roofing material. That's the largest flat surface of the home is the roof, and that's a place for embers to be able to collect and burn the home. So want to try to use like a clay tile, slate, metal, or Class A rated fire resistant shingles. And then the siding materials using stone, stucco, and brick, anything that's more fire resistant type of siding materials. Other things to consider for hardening off the home, look at those vents that are leading into the attic, and that they are screened off with 1/8 inch or smaller metal screen. Most homes burn down from embers, not necessarily like this photo here with the flame front. I think most of us like to think that it's this flame front like this photo here shows, that The flames are actually going to come in contact with the home, and that's actually a little deceptive. It's embers that are flying through the air like snow, and they are landing on the roof and or in the landscape close around the house, start that on fire, and then that's how we go. So screening off those vents, looking at any openings under decks and having them screened off, considering the patios, rather than using redwood decks, using brick pavers or stone, and the patio furniture itself. Think about the cushions and or your barbecue where you have your firewood stacked. Have a plan ahead of time that if there is a wildfire in the area, that you have a place that you're going to be able to put all this stuff out of doors. So whether it be in the garage or a shed or someplace that you can have that all enclosed. So propane tanks is like one big gigantic bomb. Seriously, it's just a bomb. And we don't, we see them all the time, but people forget that those are like literally a bomb having near your house. Propane tanks, it's a pretty common thing we have for barbecues in particular. Pretty common to be sitting around on the patio, but just something to think about. Remember, those are little mini bombs, and the big ones for like heating the home, for a lot of folks that may live a little further out, they're not hooked up to Intermountain gas and have like 1,000-gallon or those big propane tanks. That's a big bomb, and we want to be able to put those out there, not next to the house, but at least a good 30 feet away, if not better, and or bury them. I really hate it when I see them just sitting up above ground and within 5 feet of the house. That's a really big bomb sitting next to the house.
Would I be correct in assuming synthetic decking material is more fire resistant than wood decks?
Yes. The wood deck would be the most flammable, and the synthetic less so. It's not going, granted they can probably melt, but not produce as much flaming and fuel for the fire. So brick pavers and stone's my favorite. So in zone, go ahead.
So we have a 1,000-gallon buried. It's about 40 feet from the house. But is there anything else we should do for that other than, it's in my fuel break. So
You've buried it. Awesome. You've got it buried. I wish more people would have them buried, and I realize that you probably have to own it to be able to do that, and that when people are renting them, which is commonly the case, they're not allowed to bury them, but I would encourage make that purchase and get it buried rather than have it sitting up. But you've got it mostly taken care of by. Pardon?
Suburban propane will let you bury.
Really? Good to know.